Hey, what's up guys? Quick video. This is an LG OLED B6. I want to say it's 2016 version that my brother-in-law picked up at launch. For those of you that hit me up on Instagram or in the comments, you know most of the time OLED is probably the highest recommended display as far as the finest picture quality that I see at home. And you're looking at God of War on the PS4 Pro. Now, other than the glare, because it's very bright in here and there's windows behind us, watching normal content, you really didn't see it, but being the contrast in this particular video, you are going to see it. But the one thing that comes to mind immediately is not just the black level, but the complete lack of black crush. And what I mean by that is the black level is pitch black and just not washed out at all. Just a very gorgeous image. Excellent motion handling. Not to mention the viewing angle. Except for that glare. But sorry, I'm here during the day. And the colors really pop. We're in game mode. The difference I see between this and the Sony 900E is the contrast. And his display has zero burn-in. I don't see any banding. There's no real micro blocking at all. But just how the color pops off the screen, even in daylight. Now, other than the reflections on the windows, which are directly behind us, in daylight, I'll never look at the display and say it's not bright enough. Though OLED has been, kind of called too dim over the years, I'd have no problem playing this game in a light room. And truly, the camera's picking up the light in the back more than you see here. But the colors really pop. Now, people ask me why I do not have an OLED. Simply, 77-inch OLEDs just aren't really realistic right now. But I strongly considered going from a 75-inch LED to a 65-inch OLED because the picture is that impressive. Now, burn-in, is it a problem? It is. It's just you have to be very careful. Those of you that had plasmas back in the day knew that, like any other high-end piece of technology or product, you just need to be very careful with it. Meaning, static images on the screen, kids watching, Mickey Mouse channel, just be careful of having the name of the channel in the corner for hours on end. Playing the same video games over and over. Just need to be mindful, just need to be careful, and you won't have a problem. Artings has a great special on burn-in where they actually showed months of use. And it is a problem, just you wouldn't watch the same channel for 12 hours. I do like the motion very much on OLED. Some people don't like it. It's actually a little too smooth for them. And it sometimes gets perceived as judder, which it isn't. The styling of the TV, and again, this one's even a few years old. Just the thinness of the design, very elegant design. It gets thicker at the bottom, as they all do. But considering this one's a few years old, it's amazing just how nice it does grab your attention. Now, when I first came in this afternoon before my brother-in-law came home, there was like Nickelodeon playing on this, and it just popped off the screen. But in those black areas that should typically be washed out, there is a very nice contrast between the deepest blacks and the brightest highlights. Now, OLED's greatest strength is perceived contrast, meaning that it can appear brighter simply because the blacks are that black. So those of you that are really in love with bright displays, it does very little to have a bright plus 1,000 peak brightness if you can't get the blacks, because all you're going to do is wash out the image. So again, those of you that had plasmas back in the day, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Was that black level made the OLEDs, or I'm sorry, the plasmas have a more natural, lifelike image, especially with the colors. Where LCDs were very bright, but they were just very washed out. All right, we're going to pause it and wait till he gets to a more colorful area. Be back in a minute. Okay, guys, we're under one of the more colorful areas in God of War when you meet the witch, which he's already killed, so we're not going to see her. And the colors just do pop a great deal. I'm not sure what his color temperature is. It looks a little cool right now, but in a lot of ways it just looks flawless. But it's the contrast between all the colors that really captures your eye. Now he's also weighted aside as well, so I noticed that with my LED, when I have somebody over and I'm showing them a game, if I'm off center, it degrades the picture quite a bit. So beautiful image. And the OLEDs, the later OLEDs, are a bit brighter than this. But I don't, even in a bright room, do I ever look at the image and say, this is too dim. I would not be able to play this. I don't feel that at all. Again, the black level just creates the contrast, and people really miss the point on how important contrast is. Contrast ratio in comparison to just numbers like peak brightness. Again, I don't see any banding. We've been in some lighter gray scenes where vertical banding definitely shows up. I haven't seen any of that on this particular OLED. After this, we'll do just a 4K Ultra video from YouTube on here just to show you how nice it is. So in an area like this where the grays are, you would typically see a little bit of banding. And I don't see anything. And again, he doesn't have any burn-in. So he's had this TV how long, Jeff?
2 years?
So 2 years of pretty heavy usage. Again, small kids in the house, my nieces and my nephew. So they watch all content. I know he takes care of it, but he's not anal with it. And there isn't any burn-in. So for those of you thinking about an OLED, just really, as long as you're careful, treat it like any other high-end car or any other high-end piece of equipment in your home, and you should be fine. And if you have a family, just get them on board with being careful with it.
Do a lot of yelling at your kids.
A lot of yelling at the kids, yeah, exactly. Don't leave it on my plasma. I literally used to drive home freaked out because I thought it was on. Mm-hmm. But beautiful. All right, guys, the next one will be just a 4K video, but it's gorgeous. Again, this one's a few years old, and it's still beautiful. All right, guys, thank you as always. Take care.